Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. So I was thinking back today to the early days of Secureteam. Now, if you followed me since the beginning, or at least near the beginning when I started the channel, you'll know that I posted a lot of moon-related videos, whether it be bases, artificial-looking structures, the fact that NASA had covered a lot of these structures up after the fact using airbrushing techniques demonstrated in some photographs we can find online. We have done a lot of analysis on the Apollo moon missions and the footage that they captured on their way to and from the moon, showing UFOs. And well, today, I just felt like showing you some of my personal favorite pieces of footage showing or proving in my mind that there are massive unknown objects that have been seen traversing over the moon's surface. Now, in many instances, we don't see the craft itself, but the shadow of the craft. And so in two videos that I want to start out with today, I would like to show you proof that not only is our moon one of the most mysterious bodies in the entire solar system, but that to this day, it is surrounded by its fair share of mystery UFO activity. It's not just down on Earth, it's happening in space, and well, let's get to it. The first clip I want to show you was sent to me by an amateur astronomer who captured a triangular-shaped shadow or craft. I'm not sure, but to me this looks like a shadow because in this footage you can actually see the shadow moving down and wrapping around the craters on the moon as it passes by. So that leads me to believe that this is more of a shadow. Just observe and we'll see you back in just a second. Okay, so this, again, is one of my personal favorite pieces of moon-related UFO footage, in that it not only displays an unidentified object crossing the moon, but that it shows a clearly defined triangular object moving over top the moon, and even still, it also shows that the object in question is extremely close to the moon's surface, due to how small it is showing up on the telescope and isn't just something flying in Earth's atmosphere. Now, at these types of zoom levels, let's say a commercial airliner would buzz by, it wouldn't show up as some teeny little shadow here. It would literally block out the camera and the telescope for a moment as it passes over. If at all, if you would even see it, it would mainly look like just a very quick blur passing, covering the entire telescope screen, and that's what anything from Earth's atmosphere would look like at such a close zoom level. So the astronomer here is zoomed in all the way up close to the moon's surface, and that was the only way that you could even detect this object. And again, this may be the object itself, but as it's passing over some of these craters here, it looks as if the shadow sort of wraps around the crater walls and distorts a bit, much like you would see a shadow on Earth. But then again, that could simply be distortion caused by the wobbling of the moon, the fact that the telescope is being shot through our atmosphere, and it could be a simple distortion. Now, this, you may remember, was emailed to me by not only an amateur astronomer, but a guy who was a head. He was like the CEO of a corporate jet fleet in Texas. Now, you guys remember I did a video about him. He operated this fleet of private jets, and he ran a YouTube channel called Two Fork, which stood for Texas Unidentified Flying Object Research Center. And if you guys remember, he actually had to cut off all communication with me after he sent me not only this video, but other videos showing UFOs being captured from airliners that he was flying in. And afterwards, his boss, like the head of the entire company, actually threatened his job if he did not stop talking about UFOs and the fact that UFOs are seen from airliners all the time. If he did not stop talking, he would lose his job. So he had to cut off ties with me, he had to delete his YouTube channel, and I have not heard from him in, well, it's been a year or two since I posted those original videos. And I'll put the link, I'll see if I can find the links to those, and I'll put them down below where I go more in depth as to what happened with that entire situation. So the second piece of UFO footage over the moon, very similar to this, but just as explosive, if not possibly more, because in this footage, we can actually see another massive circular shadow moving across the moon that at one point completely changes direction. Now, this was captured by an Italian astronomer back in 2007, so go ahead and check this out. Okay, so again, just like the first piece of footage, we have this astounding capture of what appears either, again, to be a craft or the shadow of a craft being cast down onto the moon. But in this case, we have a much longer video, and the man who captured this, again, an amateur astronomer in Italy who was just doing some moon watching one night when he noticed this massive black circle moving across the moon. And as you saw what he did here, he actually compiled a number of images of the moon to show exactly where this thing moved, where it changed direction, the names of the craters that it passed over, and it's just another mind-blowing, phenomenal capture. And by the way, these things would have to be massive, whether we're talking about the triangular object or this massive circle. I mean, we're talking thousands of feet, potentially miles in diameter. To this day, I still love researching into the moon, whether it be through photographs of it, the various missions, the lunar orbiter satellite photographs. There is such a treasure trove of anomalous activity documented happening around and down on the moon that I highly urge any of you to go back, watch some of my original videos, or just research it into yourself. Head to Google. There's also some amazing documentaries, so do your research. It's an amazing subject, very bizarre. The moon itself is an anomaly as to how it got here, the size of it, the fact that we only see one side, and ultimately the secrets that it holds. So with that, let me know what you think about these two clips here. Amazing stuff. And let's get to some other news today. Now, if you remember, recently Elon Musk and his company SpaceX launched a car into space, one of his Tesla Roadsters. We've covered it in multiple videos. There was a 4-hour live feed, a recording that was streamed on YouTube. The video is still online that shows the launching of this thing. It shows the car orbiting the Earth. There's multiple cameras attached to the car. You see the Earth in the background, and it's just a stunning, never before seen, never before done, spectacle of the launch of this car. And since then, and it didn't take long, but we have a myriad of people who are now claiming that this launch was completely faked and that there was never a car that was launched into space. And that what we're actually seeing here is a car surrounded by a green screen. You're seeing some images here that were posted online that either were created in Photoshop, some have said were actually leaked from the, Hollywood-style set where this footage was said to have been faked, where this car was being suspended by wires, this fake Earth background put in behind it, or at least, these are just mock-ups of what they believe actually happened. And yeah, this is actually a growing conspiracy. There's been a ton of videos posted in the past week about it, with people pointing out some strange things in that 4-hour live feed. Many talking about how fake it looked. Elon Musk himself, during a press conference, admitted that, quote, "it has to be real because of how fake it looks." And that came from the man himself. Others have pointed out again in the footage, there are small glitches where it appears that the Earth, kind of stutters a little bit. Others have said that almost in every shot of the Earth, there are no land masses, but simply, a massive blue sphere with nothing there. Others have pointed out in this pic here that the Earth is actually not the right size, comparing a still image taken from the International Space Station cameras, which is at a distance from the Earth of around 408 kilometers, and we can see how much larger the Earth looks compared to this other screenshot taken at only 177 kilometers, and yet the Earth looks so much further away. It was also pointed out here in another pic that the rearview mirror was removed from the vehicle allegedly launched into space, due to the fact that it would cause too many reflections and expose the Hollywood studio setup in the background behind the car. So basically, what they're saying here is that as you're watching this footage, the car actually never moves. It's just the background in front of it, where we're seeing this sort of projected view of the Earth onto a screen that rotates itself or shows the Earth passing by, but the car actually never moves. And so I guess, that if there was a mirror there, that would sort of cause too many issues and let people know it was faked. Now, again, there are many, many more theories. And why, you ask, would they even fake such a thing? Well, the most common answer that I've been able to find online is that they were actually launching a much more secret payload. And knowing that millions of people would be watching, instead of just trying to launch the payload and pretending it never happened, they instead claimed that they were putting this car into space. And so they created this 4-hour-long faked video showing this car floating around the Earth, when in actuality it never happened, and that its purpose was just a cover-up so they could launch something else. Now, I don't know what that something else would be, but that is the theory. So, yeah, it never ends, guys. There's never a shortage of fun things to watch on YouTube and on the internet in general. You guys tell me what you think down below. I'm a firm believer that we've been to space, that the Earth is not flat. Don't hate on me for that, because I know some of my viewers, subscribe to that theory. Some of them, not very many, but I will always believe that space is real and that we have been to it. I think the evidence shows that. So do your research and tell me what you think down below. Now, lastly today, we have a new photo taken from Rome, where bystanders and travelers looked up to see this amazing sight of what appeared to be millions of birds almost blocking out the sky. So the photograph you're seeing was posted to Reddit this past Thursday, with the sky appearing to have been obscured by what almost looked like a dense sort of TV static, with the horizon line of the now viral image depicting what remains of a sunset in pale blue and orange struggling to push through the monochrome fuzz. And yeah, what we're seeing here are at least thousands of little starlings, which actually, according to the research, are said to flood Rome like this each and every autumn, seeking warmth and refuge from frigid Eastern Europe and Scandinavia. Although it almost looks apocalyptic, it I'm sure would scare me to death, make me wonder what's going on with the Earth, but apparently it happens every year. So, really amazing photograph. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it in my lifetime, but I'd hate to see what the cleanup would be like after they passed by. So that is all I have for you guys today. And one last thing before I go, I just want to give you all a heads up. It has come to my attention that a fake, well, there's a couple, but there's one in particular, a fake Secureteam Facebook page has popped up. And I started getting emails and messages the other day asking me why I was trying to sell a $4,500 VIP pass. And I said, well, I haven't. And that's when I found out that there was this other page that had been diverting viewers away from my actual Secureteam Facebook page and offering these VIP passes or something. I don't know what they're for. Posting other little tidbits about UFOs and fooling almost 10,000 people into thinking it was actually my page. So if you're following this page, unfollow it. I would ask that you guys head over and report it for faking and or scamming. There is only one legit Secureteam Facebook page, and that is facebook.com/Secureteam10. So again, don't follow it if you are, and I apologize to any of you who thought this was me. There are no VIP passes, nor would I ever attempt to sell one. I highly doubt that anything having to do with me would be worth $4,500, although I'm flattered. So, again, guys, thank you for stopping by. Be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, send me in your UFO footage if you have it, or upload it to YouTube and email me the link to it, and I will get to it as soon as possible. So, stay safe, guys. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you back in just a bit.